Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday afternoon, and here are today's notices. Loads and loads to get through today in this notices revision special. But first of all, two notices from Miss Lunny. Duke of Edinburgh behaviour agreement forms are due back today. Get those back to her. And some of you still have all red on your spreadsheet. If it's all red, you're not going on the expedition, so stop it being red, please. I think you will know better what that means than I do. Next up, a notice from Mr. Hayes. You will have had an email from Mr. Hayes regarding our second Scholars Lecture, which is a week today. That's next Wednesday evening. If you would like a seat at that lecture, you need to reply to the email. Let Mr. Hayes know that you'd like to go along. All the details in the email, please have a look. And Mr. Hayes has also asked me to say that next week we will be having our poetry semi-finals. More information to follow. Next from me, I'm going to talk a little bit about trials, and I know that that's something that can be really stressful, and it's something that some of you like, some of you hate, but they are coming up and they're only 3 weeks ago away. First thing I'm going to say is to all of you, whatever year group you're in, it is not the end of the world. These are not your GCSEs, these are not your A-levels, these are not your final exams from university. They are important, and I want you to work hard and do your best, but I don't want you, I've had people saying to me, oh, my friend's coming at the weekend, should I cancel it so I can do some revision? No, you shouldn't. You've got to live your life, you've got to have fun, you've got to do other things as well. There are times in your life when you might have to put other things on hold. Right now, it's not one of them. I'm going to talk in a minute about moderate revision, about what you should be doing now, how you should be revising, how you should be pacing yourself so that it doesn't get stressful, and so that you can do a little bit on a regular basis. But key message from me, you've got to be doing other things as well. So please, please, please try and relax as much as you can. These are not terminal. I want you to do well, and frankly, it's me who gets sacked if you don't do well, but I'm the person here who has the most to lose. And if I'm saying, please, those of you who are stressing, those of you who are thinking you need to be working every minute of every day, I'm telling you categorically, you do not. You need to do enough work, but you don't need to go crazy. So, with that in mind, I was with the staff this morning and I thought I'd ask them for their top revision tips. Things you can be doing, not all the time, not every minute of every day, but you can be doing to aid your revision. Because the more you do now in a moderate way, no crazy hours working, not up all night, but reasonable amount here or there, the less you'll have to do down the line, the less stressful it will be. So, by next week, every teacher for every subject will have given you a list of things which you need to know and which you need to revise for your trial. A list of topics, if you like. And then I went to the staff and I said, right, I want a video from each of you, or kind of working in groups, with your top revision tips. So here are the staff's guide to the top revision tips for your trials. Over to you, staff.
1 minute starts now. Go. So, you all know something called Google. Thank you, Mr. DaCosta. In Google, I might write something like the word Tybalt quotes. You can see I've done it before. At the top here, you have a website. That if I click on that link, you have every single one of Tybalt's words in the whole text. Okay, that's absolutely fantastic, but it's going to be impossible to learn all of those things. So what I would suggest that you do, rather than trying to learn them all or highlight them all, is look at these and pick your top 10, maybe even just your top 5 Tybalt quotes. You can do that by this. I have then made a spreadsheet. How long have I got, miss?
15 seconds.
It's got a spreadsheet where I put them into a spreadsheet, and then from there I can delete the quotations that I don't think are relevant. It's not the outcome that's important, it's the thought process. Through this process of picking which are the top
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Which are the top 5 quotes? You will begin to learn the other quotations. I'm going to carry on beyond this minute because it's important. From there, we can be looking at what other characters are involved. From there, you can start doing some analysis. So when you're picking quotes, you are actually doing some work. And Google is really, really useful. Come back this way. If you type into Sheila Burling and spectacles into Google, and you go up to this website called Oxnotes, you will also see every single Sheila Burling quote in the whole play. You can get this stuff for an In Spectacles Romeo and Juliet. You will get these quotations on the internet. So you don't have to forage through the book and highlight the whole book. You get them and you pick the top 10 or your top 5 quotations for those characters. Do that this week. Thank you.
Okay, so a great way to revise is to use things like your textbook and your revision guide. Read through a section of text, like this part here that's talking about civil law and criminal law, and then from that put an A3 piece of paper behind it, and then you can kind of create some questions from that bit of text that summarise what it is that you need to know. So for example, if you're reading through this, you would look at it and you'd think, okay, what is civil law, what is criminal law, what 2 questions could I create from that I could then be able to answer. Once you've finished doing that for a section, you can then take a picture of it and you've got some questions that you can then revise from, and you've got the information there for you.
A really good way of revising is to use colour-coded note cards, and I definitely used this when I was doing my GCSEs.
One of the reasons being that you can key into each different colour and come back, and it really helps trigger the brain to remember stuff.
So one use of this that you could do in English, if you're looking at a particular text, you could theme each, you could put each theme, like love and hate, into a different colour code, or you could also do this with different people in the play.
Cards with explanations are also really good. So you might have on one, you can have question cards, but also if you are really good at remembering facts, but I think, oh my gosh, I panic, then you can have key cards with those facts on the front and then put the actual explanations and expansions on the back.
So it's all about prioritising. Put your key points on the front, put them in bullet points, add in pictures, and I will say this because of art, it will help trigger your mind.
Pictures really do help.
Okay, keep it visual, it will help. Colour is part of that visualisation.
And break down complex subjects into as small parts as you possibly can, and then build them back up again. Just get to know your stuff.
When you're making a mimer, the key thing to remember is that it needs to be different to a spider diagram. So you need to take your topic and then write your topic in the middle. So if we go with Year 8 in history, they're looking at slavery. So you put slavery in the middle.
Quick to watch, only make video diaries 2 to 3 minutes
Okay,
long.
and then you need to work out what different aspects of slavery you're going to look at. So, for example, if we take over this side, we're going to look at plantations.
Then your friends make one each. You can share them on all that social media.
And then around this, you need to write down everything that you know or need to know about plantations. So, think about, in one branch, you could look at what the purpose of plantations were. So the purpose would be to produce sugar. And then you need to think about where that sugar is going to go. So off that, you need to then write something about transferring it to Britain. Okay, another purpose was to